GMOG Sports TV back with another one. All right, family, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I need as much interaction as possible for this channel to grow. So if you like boxing content from an unbiased perspective, please subscribe. You already know what it is. So real quick, family, I just want to make some points here. You know, people are talking about, Al Haymon, who is looking for a new network deal because Showtime has, dropped out of no longer showcasing fights anymore. The writing was on the wall for years. Saw this coming. Same thing with HBO. So now HBO and Showtime are no longer showcasing fights. So Al Haymon and the PBC are looking for a new network deal, and it seems to be the front runners are DAZN and Amazon Prime. It's funny how people, I've heard people say that DAZN ain't shit, DAZN is this and that, and even people from the PBC, like Leonard Ellerby called DAZN the dead zone, right? Full circle. Now Al Haymon could possibly have a network deal with DAZN. That's funny. But real quick, I want to talk about the business of boxing, especially from a fighter's perspective, right? We just had a fight between a YouTuber such as KSI versus Tommy Fury this past weekend, right? It did over 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. Now, regardless of what you say about the fight, whether it's a crossover fight, YouTuber, whatever, it's a sanctioned fight, all right? And it did over 1.3 million pay-per-view buys, right? In comparison to what you're looking at right now with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence on Showtime, they just had their fight. They did a little over 700,000 pay-per-view buys. And that was an actual fight, okay? And so you look at the contrast of what's selling and what's not. It's not really about skills. It's not about that. It's about popularity. It's about how you showcase your show, how you market yourself. That's what it's really about. So Al Haymon and the PBC should take a page, especially fighters as well. Take a page from KSI. Take a page from Logan Paul and Jake Paul, right? You got guys. You have KSI, who has his own boxing promotion company called Misfits. They have a multi-year deal with DAZN to distribute their fights, right? That's number one, right? Over 1.3 million pay-per-view buys, and they're consistent with that as well. Every time they put on an event, they do over 1 million buys. So you got to understand that. And Al Haymon, the PBC, and especially fighters should look at that. Look at that and what they're doing and how they're marketing and promoting themselves and how Misfits has their own deal with DAZN. And Al Haymon and the PBC has a stable of fighters, right, that are looking for a network deal, okay? And Al Haymon needs to understand that you can't have these fighters sitting on the sideline being inactive, because that's not going to get you nowhere as well. That's part of the reason why they're looking for a network deal, because you guys aren't putting enough product out. Like the UFC, they put out product every month, okay? They have an exclusive deal with ESPN. So the point is this, family, like, you have a product. Going back to KSI and his deal with DAZN. He has a product, right? Misfits, promotional company. Not only that, he has an actual merchandise that he's selling called Prime Energy, which he partnered also with Logan Paul. So your favorite fighter, as you can see here, wearing a Prime necklace, that's an energy drink that's owned by KSI and Logan Paul. From a business perspective, these fighters have to know how to market themselves and actually have a product to market as well, so they can have residual income outside of boxing. So I don't understand why fighters will look at this kind of stuff. People are talking about, Al Haymon and the PBC. The fighters should be looking at KSI and Logan Paul. They just did 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. They have a product that crossed over called Prime Energy that your favorite fighter is wearing across his neck. And many other fighters as well. I've seen that Prime Energy drink with other fighters as well. So from a business perspective, There's a lot of money that can be made if you know how to market and promote yourself. Because look at KSI, look at Logan Paul, look at Jake Paul. These guys are doing numbers, right? You had a fight earlier this year with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. That did over 1.1 million buys. It didn't take years to materialize and marinate, right? It was between two fighters. And of course, regardless of what you say about whatever, Ryan Garcia was the one that brought over those casuals. You know, he has a huge popular following on social media, TikTok, Instagram, things like that. So from a marketing perspective, you know, these fighters, these actual fighters who are on the PBC roster, gotta study guys like Ryan Garcia, study guys like KSI and Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Now, many people got to understand that not everybody can be those guys because you got to have personality. But from a business perspective, they're doing things outside of boxing, like having their own product and crossing it over and promoting that product. So you got to look at stuff like that, guys. Like, you really got to look at stuff. So I think fighters can definitely learn a lot from KSI, from Logan Paul, from Jake Paul. Because whether you want to like it or not, they're the ones. You want to talk about face of boxing? You look at those numbers, they're consistent with their pay-per-view buys. Numbers don't lie, okay? I'm not saying that they're the face of boxing. What I'm saying is they're consistent with having over 1 million pay-per-view buys every time they have an event. So you got to look at stuff like that. So those are my thoughts on that, family. Just wanted to, you know, I think different. I think outside the box because nobody talks about this stuff, but I do, right? But let me know your thoughts about that, what I just said about how fighters should look at people like KSI and Logan Paul and Jake Paul as far as a business model, what they should be doing. Let me know your thoughts down below, family. Until next time, signing out. Peace.